Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about things that What?
Things that we wish we had done before we started grad school.
Yay! Ways to mentally prepare before getting started. I'm here today with my friend Riah.
Hi everyone, I'm Riah and I just recently graduated from law school.
I brought her in today so we can share different perspectives, and although we're in different fields, I'm in school psychology and she's in law, it's still grad school, and we can kind of generalize and talk about our experiences and how to prepare before getting started.
Tip number 1 is to pick up some kind of interest or hobby. It could be a job, it could just be spending time with your friends or family, but something that will, how do I phrase this?
Something outside of what you're going to study, so you can have like a mental break from constantly being in the field and talking about law or school psychology all the time. I think you just get burnt out.
Yeah, I agree, because one thing that I personally experienced when I started law school is that you're going to class that takes up a ton of hours of your day, and then you're spending so many hours after classes to study, and you're also constantly talking with your friends who are also in law school with you, so it's so easy to get sucked into a bubble where you're only talking about what you're studying. So having some kind of hobby or something outside of your field helps you just, I guess, what's the right word for this? This is a lesson that I learned kind of in my second and third year of law school. My first year, I made the mistake of just being solely surrounded by my law school peers, just law school work, and just being in that mentality, and it was so unhealthy for me. So if I could go back, I would have, like Tiffany's listed, maybe had gotten a part-time job or picked up some other hobbies. Like right now I really enjoy baking. If I had done that a little sooner, I think I would have had a much healthier mentality throughout it all.
I think before filming, you also mentioned how having an interest or something quirky about yourself, how that can help you in the job search or your internship.
Yeah, in internship interviews, traditionally law students put on their resumes at the bottom a little interest section where they list their hobbies or just their general interests outside of law school. That it helps them stand out a lot more in their interviews. For instance, I wrote, what did I write? I don't want to share what I wrote. So I had a friend who, do I want to say that? I don't want to out my friend like that. I don't know, maybe you want to learn how to juggle. That's really cool. You sit in an interview, the interviewer sees that you like to juggle, and they go, wow, so you juggle, huh? Tell me about that. And they instantly see, maybe I should have picked a cooler example. Not to say that juggling is not cool if any of you guys are jugglers. Oh wow, you weren't kidding.
No, never.
But yeah, the interviewer will see that there's something unique about you, something kind of fun and quirky, and they'll ask you questions about it. It could lead your interview down a path where you guys are just kind of laughing and it's very lighthearted, and then they just see you as someone, that they want to hire because you just seem like a cool person to work with.
I like your attitude. You're hired.
Yeah, I think it could build your personality, or the least it could do is start a conversation during the interview. Tip number 2, find resources related to grad school. So specifically with your own grad school or your niche program, there's a lot of subreddits and forums out there, Facebook groups that will give you a ton of information about your program specifically or the field in general. And there's a lot of people in those groups that can also help you out.
Yeah, for sure. I think for law, there are a ton of subreddits out there. Check out law school admissions, law school, LSAT. I wish I had known about these resources before I started law school, because I think it could have given me a greater idea of what I was getting myself into. It could have connected me to people who given me a lot of great advice. So tip number 3 is to just enjoy the summer you have before school starts. That sounds pretty simple and I guess not like a real tip, but it really is. Trust us. Yeah, just speaking from my personal experience, pretty much as soon as you start your program, You're going to be met with a lot of assignments, readings, just a lot of workload. So taking time before all that starts to really relax and enjoy yourself is, I think, something that I wish I had done.
Yeah, for sure. Grad school is so much work, and I'm sure like it depends on like what program you're in. Like the amount of work is different and the type of work is different, but like you're going to be all in. It's not like college where like, oh, like maybe I could skip this one class, or like, oh, this is like a class that I don't need. Like you need all these classes. It's like a training program for the field that you want to go into.
So around this time before I started law school, before I started my first year of law school, I was so anxious, like I'm sure many of you are, about the program that you're about to start. So I borrowed a bunch of books about law school to read, to learn more about like contract law and constitutional law and stuff that I knew I'd be studying my first year. And I would pack up these books and like go to a local cafe and just sit there for hours trying to read this material. And as soon as I started law school, I just realized all of that was so pointless because I just wasted so many hours doing something that like didn't really help me out that much. I wish I could get that time back to do something different.
I guess in the lines of like getting mentally prepared, it really depends on like where you're coming from, whether you're coming from like straight from undergrad or whether you've been working. It kind of puts you in a different place. And so for me, like I worked like around 3 years before starting grad school, and I think going from work back to school was a big transition for me because although like working, like, you know, you're in the grind, you're working like Monday to Friday or like whatever your schedule is and you're required to be there, like you don't really have a lot of homework to take home. And going back to grad school, like although I had a little bit more free time, I always had like assignments and homework over my head.
So I entered law school right after I graduated college. I had to make a different transition because I had to realize that grad school is so different from undergrad, and I entered expecting it to just be like a seamless transition. I thought law school would be college 2.0. It really wasn't. I was one of the youngest people in my class because I was fresh out of college. I was studying with people who had been working 2, 3, 4, 5, like 10 years.
And the other thing that makes it different is because like we're all studying the same thing. We're all there for like one goal, and like it's so specialized, and so it's like a different vibe. People are there like in order to get training for like this one thing, and yeah, I think like preparing for that is really important.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how it was like for your school, but definitely for my school, it's very competitive. You have kids who were probably like straight A students, high school, college, very type A, because that's the kind of personality that gets attracted to law schools. Kids who just really like talking, and then you just get stuffed into a program together where you're told like, go study the same thing, you're gonna go after the same jobs. It's just such a different environment.
I feel like for any grad school, like once you enter, like you're kind of stuck, and so you have to know that you really want it.
Yeah.
Or else like why are you there, or like you're not going to succeed. And so that goes for any grad school, right? Like if you want to be a teacher and you're stuck there for 2 years, like you're only going to learn how to become a teacher.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like it's also a huge financial commitment, right? Like people who go to grad school, you have to really want it if you want to pay like all of that tuition money. It's not easy at all.
I think, going to grad school in general is like a huge privilege. Like you just need like the finances and time to go there. And that also kind of plays into like how you have to mentally prepare. Because you can't just go like loosey-goosey, like I think I want to do this, and then you go and like it's not what you expected. You have to go knowing like what you want and how much work you're going to put in.
So if you do go knowing all of this and you're committed, I think you're going to have a great experience. Law school was one of the most challenging 3 years of my life, but it has also been the most rewarding. Just know what you're getting into.
Have fun like during the summer. Take care of your mental and physical health.
That's very important, mental and physical health.
Before grad school, during grad school, all of it.
And if you have questions, throughout grad school, don't be afraid to reach out to, people who have gone through the same experience as you.
In your program, on forums, you can leave comments down here. Like, you have so many options, like especially with the internet. So is that a wrap?
Yeah.
All right, that's a wrap. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more similar content. Leave any comments or questions down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.